Grill. My name's Guy Wayman and the coach of the Venice Indians volleyball team, Coach Brian Wheatley, and our guest this week, or actually it's Coach's guest this week, will be Coach Craig Faulkner of the baseball team. But Coach, let's just talk with you right now. Battle at the Beach. I'll tell you what, yeoman's job, you put it together, you organized it, volunteers were right there. I mean, everything was the way it's supposed to be.
Well, first of all, let me just thank Pops for being here. I just ordered the flatbread pizza. I'm really excited about it. Last week I had the peeled shrimp, and I'm going to go with some flatbread pizza tonight. But I'm excited to be here, and appreciate you having us on. There, look at that. I got a Caesar salad right there. That's going to be pretty good.
Last week, we have to say, he was talking about his shrimp last week, and people are here this week because he talked about it last week.
Thank you. We appreciate that. You enjoy. I'll check back.
Well, it's kind of neat, though, because people are saying, oh, man, I want to come back for those burgers, or I liked what I saw when you were eating that shrimp.
And it's half-price burger night tonight, too.
Yes, every Monday up until the end
know.
of the year. Then when it starts January 1, when the seasonals come back.
Yeah.
So it's a special for the locals.
Yeah, definitely. So anyways, Battle at the Beach, I thought it went really smooth. We had 16 awesome teams come in. A lot of preparation into that thing, but it's probably the most smooth it ever went was this year, and it definitely helped that our team played pretty well as well.
Yeah, that helps the inner vibe.
For sure, yeah.
You go through Friday, and it starts at 3:30, and the kids leave the gymnasium because of PE, physical education, at 2:30. So there's really only that 60-minute transitional, but the other teams came in from all across the country, really, not just the state of Florida, and they knew where to go, and it was really well organized.
Well, I'll tell you, teams were so appreciative of the Venice hospitality. They went out into the community on Friday night. We purposely end our Friday night session early so the teams can go over to Venice Avenue for dinner and come to Pops and go to Bogies and places like that. So they were just extremely pleased with the way Venice treated them, because you see a bunch of tall girls walking around Venice Avenue, and they knew that they were with the tournament, and people would go up to them and just ask them how they did and what they thought, and so they had a really good time Friday night. So that's one of the best things about Venice, just our hospitality and just small town community feel.
I said on the tournament when I was broadcasting it, I said, if you're intimidated by tall women, this is not the place to be.
Right.
I mean, because there's a couple 5'4", but basically they're 5'8" and above.
There were some really tall girls there this weekend, and there was a lot of high, Division I players there. You're gonna, if you watch college volleyball, you'll see a lot of those kids playing in the next couple of years on TV. So
it was some really good volleyball. If you wanted to see it, it was there, and right next to you on that Saturday game, the final one was Haggerty and Lake Highland Prep, and I'll tell you, they were both going at it.
Two great teams there.
Set some records here recently with the amount of times that we've been to the Final Four, and it's feel really blessed to get back year after year. But the third state championship in a row is a tall order, and we've lost a lot of our pitching last year. And guys, we got some great players coming back. We're really looking forward to being strong up the middle with Matt Gussetti behind the dish, a University of Florida commit, and Mike Robertson, also Florida commit.
Wow.
He's a center fielder, and
so you got
both
two Florida commits on your team.
Two Florida commits, yeah.
So you got a pretty good chance to go back to back to back.
I don't know that. That's why we're calling it Mission Impossible. But anyways, Michael Robertson, Florida commit, playing center field. Both of those guys, Michael and Matt Gussetti, committed as freshmen, which is pretty neat thing. We did lose a lot of pitching last year. Danny Rodriguez at FTCU, and Orion Kirkring is at USF, and Clay Callan is at SCF. So we lost a lot of our strong pitching, but we're developing some young players, and we're going to be a little bit young like you guys are this year, Brian, but really working hard in the weight room right now. and looking forward to, going after the Mission Impossible.
Craig, let me ask you this: when you look at your team, do you consider the pitching part your strength, or the hitting part your strength, or do you think it's evenly balanced?
Well, year after year, it changes every single
Yes.
year. But the one thing that we are very consistent in doing is that we throw strikes. We don't walk a lot of guys, and where our strikeout to walk ratio is always really good. A really good strikeout to walk ratio is 3 strikeouts to every walk. And, we've been fortunate over the years. We're always 4-1, 5-1, sometimes 6-1. And that's really a lot of the reason behind our success. Our hitting is, we've done a lot of small ball. We do the little things.
Sure.
We bunt, we hit and run, we safety squeeze, we put the ball in play. We don't strike out a lot. So
See, and that's what's so beautiful about high school and what they call preps is the fact that there's a lot more strategy, there's bunts, and they call it the small ball. But at the same time, it's like, they always want to hit the long ball in the pros. And it's like that sometimes gets to be so boring because, I know it puts butts in the seats and they like to do that because of a home run. But when you do these bunts and you get them on base and, they're in scoring position on second base, that kind of makes it interesting for the fans.
Yeah, it's fun. The running game's a fun game. When we designed the field back in 2000, we built the field at Venice High School. Our community did. I made the fences too
Well,
too
you build
long.
the field, they will come.
Yes, right. We made the fences longer than they should have been probably for high school baseball, and the way the bats have changed and the balls have changed. We're hitting 4 or 5 home runs a year. Well, you
Do you
can't
like
win
the
a
metal
lot of
bats?
games. I'd love to use wood bats, but it's hard to afford wood bats. They break pretty
Well,
easily.
they break and then they
Yeah.
become very, very dangerous.
Yeah, and expensive.
Yeah.
So, the wood bats are now made so they hit the metal bats are made so they hit like wood bats. The ball doesn't fly like it used to. So, and they don't break. So it's a money saver.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Coach had the battle at the beach this weekend, and I saw Coach John Flynn, and he attended there. I see you walking around the gym, and you guys all attend, and that is the beauty of Venice. And if people are outside the area, they don't quite understand, but you guys are a community. You are all in this together, and the coach even tweeted out last week, I'm so proud to be a Venice Indian. And you guys are, kind of expound upon that as coaches enjoying this beautiful salad at Pops.
Yeah, well, I tell you,
Really good, too.
it is a great day here, beautiful weather today. But, our community is just the best. I was one of the coaches who got to play at Venice High School and got to play baseball, football, and basketball there. And my daughters both played for Brian in volleyball. So, it's a big we bleed green and white, in our family. So it's I wouldn't want to go teach at any other school or coach at any other school. It's a great place to be. We're very, very, very fortunate to be at Venice High School.
What did you think about what happened this weekend? And then I'm going to bring Coach Wheatley back in.
Well, I'm excited anytime Brian does well. We do talk a lot about, what's going on in our different sports.
Are your offices close?
Oh, yeah, we're in the same office.
Really
So,
close.
yeah. Too close. So, but,
I think that's good for people to know. It's like economy of room.
Oh, boy.
But, we do talk a lot about, what motivates our teams, and we bounce things off each other all the time and, give each other scenarios. What do you think about this? What would you do here? And Brian's always giving me feedback. I'm always giving him feedback, in fact, daily. And, we find some of it works for each other and some of it doesn't. But, it's important for me that all our sports do good at Venice High School, being an alma mater of Venice High School. Every time some sport wins a state championship or does real well, it's better for Venice baseball, and I know it's better for Venice volleyball.
Coach and I were talking about it, and you might even agree. And, Coach, I'll let you answer this first. Before the show started, and I was bringing up the analogy of you have to earn your stripes. Just because you put on that senior uniform and you become the varsity team doesn't automatically make you varsity, even though you're maybe categorized that. You have to kind of earn that spot, Coach.
For sure. And, first of all, like Craig was saying, all the stuff he's doing in the offseason right now, championships are won in the offseason. You can't expect to come into a season without having done anything and expect to be successful. So that's one thing. Another thing is, our kids when they first come up to varsity, they think, hey, I made the varsity team. I'm on the Venice volleyball team or Venice baseball team. Well, you still got to do the work. There's no substitute for hard work.
Yeah.
And just because you're wearing Venice across your chest does not mean that you're going to win. And it's important, I think, at least our two programs have gotten to a situation where, all of our alumni in the past years, they're rooting for us. And those alumni, I think Craig first won in 2007. So they set the foundation, and now it's just up to our kids now to continue building on that foundation. It's so hard for programs and new coaches coming in to set that foundation. And once you set that foundation, you've got to take that culture and really nurture it as much as possible. And, there's obviously ups and downs with talent and all that, but you still have your core beliefs, and you still have to keep your kids accountable. And I'm a big believer on high expectations,
Yes.
And
that's why you play the number 5 in the nation like Hoover.
I was talking with someone today, it's not about winning and losing, because if it was, I could go play, the School of the Blind every match, and we could probably be, 25-0.
You can probably play Akron University because they're not very good.
Well, to be the
and that's
best,
my alma mater. I hate to say that.
To be the best, you got to beat the best. So and
Yes.
I know Craig's a big believer in playing strong competition. And, I think kids will rise to your expectations. And it's just a matter of training them well, but they'll rise. And sometimes, like this year, we're going through some growing pains, but we saw so much growth this past weekend.
The lean times, and you have to be hungry to want that. And sometimes when they see, oh man, that's the championship team, I'm going to be on varsity, and I'm just going to kind of go on there, and they haven't really gone through a hungry period to really want it. And Craig, you're nodding your head because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. Our slogan is you can't win a state championship in the fall, but you can lose one. And, so we're working really hard in the fall right now. We're in at 5:45 in the morning before school. We like to call ourselves the hardest working high school baseball team in America. And you're right. It's a tough thing to do year after year when you've won 2 back-to-back state champions and a lot of your kids are wearing rings already.
Yeah.
To get them motivated for another ring. We got to do a sales job as coaches, and that's, we start off every fall with a meeting, and that meeting sets
and
our.
You have these new kids coming in, say, "Hey, I'm on the team now."
Yeah, and we start ourselves with a slogan. This year's slogan, Mission Impossible. Last year we were narrow as the path. Year before that, every year we have a slogan that we build on all year long, and it's really to build that culture. And the culture is that we're going to be better in school than anybody else. We're going to be better in the community. We're going to work harder than anyone else. We're going to do things of character. We're going to be, leaders among each other. And, those are the things that winning is really a byproduct of doing things right. And so, that's what Brian and I have done in our programs. How many things can we do right? How many life lessons can we teach these kids? So whether we win a state championship or not, we're winners and they're winners because of what they've learned from Venice High School.
And he's talking about the big picture, and and I know Craig will agree with me on this. We, even though our teams have won state championships, we'll know how successful they were in 20 years. What are they doing in 20 years to be good citizens? Or are they still friends? Are they in each other's weddings? Stuff like that. I think it's important. I love, I get an invite every year from, the 2004 team to go to dinner over Christmas break, and so it's stuff like that I think is pretty cool, and it's just all about the big picture.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick time out here, and we're going to let you watch us eat for about 3 minutes. And so we're live at Pop Sunset Grill. This is the Volleyball Coaches Show, and somebody ordered this monster pizza.
Ooh.
Coach, you going to be able to eat all that?
I'm going to try.
All right. We'll be back in 3 minutes, but you can watch us eat. Come on down to Pops and enjoy it. We've got people over here that we are looking at that heard us last week, heard Coach talk about his food, and they say, we're going to watch the show and eat some of that delicious food. I think it was shrimp last week, right?
It was peel and eat shrimp.
Yeah. And he did more eat than peel, let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I'll tell you, these chicken tenders are absolutely outstanding. We're getting texts from people that say they like the look of Pops along the water. And, Coach, we were talking earlier, there's a nice current here. Let's turn around and look at this thing because people are really digging what they're seeing.
Well, that current's moving, and if I had a fishing pole right now, I think I could catch some nice snook. Because those snook are running tonight under those lights. That's going to be a good night fishing.
You and Huckleberry Finn. Huh?
I'm looking at, if you look way over, there's a kite, someone's kite surfing way over there. That's pretty cool as well. This is a great place.
This is Casey Key right over there.
That's right. And you can pull up on your boat here, and you can get a nice lunch, nice dinner. My wife and I love to come on dates to this place.
And that's the beauty of it. You're still dating your wife. I love it.
Absolutely.
This is the Coach Weekly Counseling Show.
You got to keep dating. Doesn't matter how long you've been married. You got to keep dating your wife. So it's important.
And all right, Coach Faulkner, you've got some delicious food there from Pops, and I know you've been here before, but it just keeps getting better and better every time you taste it.
Tonight I'm going with the fried shrimp.
Wow.
Classic, but really, really tasty. Little French fries on the side there.
And on Mondays it's half-price burgers, and I saw them coming out with Swiss cheese. Oh my goodness!
I'm probably going to try a little Brian's Pizza. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't
before we're
eat
done.
this whole thing.
Better watch out. When he starts nibbling on the end, it's going to be gone by this other end.
It looks like a wood stove there.
Yeah, I don't know. You know that.
All right. Let's see. We were here last week before the Battle of the Beach.
Yeah.
Now this week, it's kind of a down week as far as playing right now. But Wednesday, the team is departing to go out west to the Durango Classic.
Yep.
And you're going to be gone all week. And then next week, we will not have a coach's show because you guys are coming back on the red eye. So it's going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah.
Our next game is going to be Plant a week from Thursday. Kind of explain the Durango Classic and why this is – you pick a hard one each year. Last year was Chicago. Why did you pick the Durango?
Well, there's three main There's three national tournaments every year. Chicago, which is the ASICS Challenge, and then we got Vegas, which is the Durango Classic. And then we got the Tour Champions in Phoenix, Arizona. So we've never gone to this tournament.
So this will be your first time?
This will be the first time. They got a load of just awesome talent coming in. The top teams in the country will be in this tournament. The team that will win the national championship will be in this tournament. So it's going to be a great test for us. But more importantly, it's going to help us improve. And when we come back to Florida, we're going to be a better team for it. So we're leaving Wednesday morning. We're going to go see a show Wednesday night in Vegas, the Friends musical. If you've ever watched Friends, with Ross and Chandler and all that. So we're going to see that. And Thursday, we're going to get in our cars. We're going to go to Hoover Dam. And then we're actually going to go to the Grand Canyon and do some touring and hiking there as well. And then the tournament starts Friday and Saturday.
And that's got to be careful because you can twist an ankle just like that when you're doing the Grand Canyon bit.
You could, but you know what? It's also an educational trip. And
yes,
we're going to play volleyball, but we're not going all the way out there. We're going to have some fun as well.
Excellent.
And a lot of team bonding will be going on, and a lot of these kids have never been on to the west coast before, or the western part of the country. So I'm excited about it. It always brings our team together when we do these kind of trips. And even though there's a lot of planning, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're blessed just to have been invited to the tournament.
You mentioned the Battle at the Beach this last weekend, that there was growth amongst the team, and you saw that growth because let's face it, there were some struggles there before this last weekend here,
right.
But things started to come together, and now back to back, the Battle at the Beach and now the Durango, both of those now combined is really going to kind of multiply the factor.
We're throwing them in the fire, and basically what we're trying to do is be comfortable while being uncomfortable. And so, what's been going on is where we've been having trouble closing out games. So one of our focus this weekend was to, what can we do, the mental aspect of it. We have the talent. It's just a matter of having the confidence, having the belief in in each other to get the job done. Big players make big plays and
Yes.
big games. So, we're preaching that a lot, and we won a ton of 2-point games this weekend. So I'm really happy about that, because the more times we're in that situation, the more we're going to get comfortable with being able to close it out. So does that mean all of our issues are solved? Absolutely not. We got to keep getting better. But just today in practice, I saw a different level of intensity that I haven't seen all year, and they know that what they just came from and what they're going to next weekend.
What happens also Greg, we're going to bring you back here in just a minute, though, but through the Battle of the Beach, Coach, is the fact that they, at the beginning of the battle to the end of the battle, it wasn't relying on just the one person making all the shots. By the end of the weekend, by the fifth game, all of a sudden, more of the players and the athletes started to jump in, so it was not dependent upon one, which actually frees up talent so that then it's evenly distributed.
Sure. I mean, people are starting to step up.
Yeah.
And, we had a lot of newcomers. Hey, there's Joe Farrell over there. This is the owner of Pops. We definitely got to bring him in. He's a great guy. He's a huge supporter of Venice Volleyball. Joe, come on in here, man.
Can you share your microphone?
Absolutely. Welcome.
This
Thanks
is
for having us. Have a
Joe
seat.
Farrell.
Hey, Joe, just have a seat there.
He one of the owners of this great restaurant here.
Kind of tuck in a little closer to Brian. There
And
you go.
like I was just telling these guys, awesome supporter of Venice Volleyball, but more importantly, just a great guy. And he has done so much with this place. We're building a new tiki set over there, and this place is just exploding. The food is awesome. I personally like the peel and eat shrimp, but I'm trying the flatbread, which you got me on probably about last year about this time.
Right.
So that's good stuff. Thanks for having us, Joe.
You bet. It's just it's great to have you guys here. As you know, I'm personally just always been a big fan of volleyball, and of course that makes it a pretty small leap to be a big fan of Venice volleyball, just because you guys you're aces. You go at it really hard.
Yeah, Guy Wayman here along with the coach. We have noticed, and Coach brought this up, every week we're talking about the food. We see people coming in that we maybe know, and they say, we saw it last week on the show, and now we're going to try what he had. And so, we like that shrimp, or we like that chicken, or we like that. And we saw you eating that, and so now they're ordering that.
Oh, that's fantastic. This is great news. Good. You guys need to just stay here every week now from now on, right?
Well, we've got only about a 10-week run. And then we're waiting for the ratings from Nielsen.
We can stretch. We can expand this.
No,
I'm sure we can move to other sports.
Well, what we've noticed, we were talking about this before, is that as the weeks go on, it's getting more and more crowded. And I don't know if that has to do with season or what, but maybe it's your marketing system you have. But the word's getting around Venice that Pops is the place to be.
Well,
and there's no better place than bring your out-of-town guests to something like this. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun because we're on the water. There isn't a day that goes by that the folks here don't see dolphins going up and down. And
sure,
it's the narrowest section of the Intracoastal in the country. So as a result, you see every boat that's going through the Intracoastal up close and personal. It's only about I don't know what it is, 200 feet across.
I've had people text me and comment that they're watching the coach's show and they see the water behind us.
Right.
And they go, that looks so Florida. And they're actually, it looks appetizing to them. And yet we still got the food here as well. You do have an absolute beautiful location.
Thank you. And of course, it's been here since the Urbanics side of the property has been here, since 1940s. So it's been here quite a while. This side of the property, the Pop side, I think is closer to 1970 when it got going. And when we bought it, which is almost 20 years ago, it was still operating as two restaurants. So we
Talk
just
about the
kinda
wood.
combined them.
You walk into that parking lot out of your car, and all of a sudden you smell that wood grill.
Well, we began a wood-burning grill or a wood-smoked grill, both, about 8 or 9 years ago, and it really made a lot of changes for us. The first thing it allowed us to do is have a much stronger presence of all fresh fish. So without that type of grilling system, it just didn't make as much sense for us. Now we have fresh fish delivered 6 days a week, and because we maintain enough folks through here, the fish is always, it's gone the day or the day after it arrives. So it's been a great system for us and allows us to be a little bit more creative.
Everybody is hospitable. Everybody, whether it's kitchen staff, whether it's the servers, whether it's the bartenders, they're all happy and they just love being here working for you.
That's what you got when you get a great boss.
You guys are just unbelievable. I should have come here more often to hear some of this. Thank you. It's a family operation. So
no, I mean, I'm saying the truth, though, aren't I,
No,
Brian?
absolutely.
We had something really fun happen this past week. Donna, who has been our customer service manager for the last 7 or 8 years, became a U.S. citizen on Friday. She's originally from Jamaica. She's worked very hard for the last few years in order to gain her citizenship. So we were able to have quite a celebration on Friday when she was able to receive the official award and presentation.
All right, a final thought to the viewers out there, and you can look right in that camera and you can appeal right to them, Joe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, my first thought is support Venice in all sports, especially volleyball. It is just such a great school for the community with the effort they put towards sports and specifically the things that sports create in a student in terms of the discipline and the skill and the attitude. And you couldn't have a finer coach than the gent sitting to my right. And it's been great to be a part of it. We have throughout the year, we usually bring the teams here at least once for a meal.
Absolutely.
But football and baseball and all we can do, we just like to be offer as much support as we can. And my son goes there. My son's a senior at Venice this year, so it's a school we're proud to be a part of.
Thank you so much for having us. Do you have a final thought before we let Joe go back?
I just appreciate this guy's friendship, and he brings a smile to my face. I love when I answer my phone.
Well, that's because he's bringing you that shrimp.
So. no, he's a great guy. He's awesome family, and I just appreciate who he is. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe.
You bet.
All right, let's bring back in now Coach Faulkner here. And Coach, you were watching this with Joe, and you were nodding your head almost all the time there as Joe was talking.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Our community is it's the best community to coach in. There's so many people that just pour into us, and in turn we try to pour back into the community. So it's pretty neat when we come out to places like this, and people are so welcoming and gracious. So it's nice.
Okay, is there a team you're looking forward to playing? You were looking forward to playing Hoover on the Thursday before the battle. Is there like a team that, by the way, did you get the pooling in yet?
We're getting the pooling in tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And we've got a preliminary pooling so far. I'm not sure if it's going to be that way yet, but there's 2 teams. There's a team from Northern Cal, there's a team from Southern Cal, there's a team from Arizona that's in our pool with the number 1 seed being the 21st team in the nation, Marin Catholic. And then we're going to play Harvard Westlake from Southern Cal, and they have a great tradition. But, famous schools like Mater Dei are going to be there. Laguna Beach is going to be there. Assumption from Louisville, Kentucky that wins it every year. Lone Peak from Utah is going to be there. So there's going to be some amazing talent, and we want to do well because the better we do, the higher competition we play, and we want to play the best teams there.
See, what people think is that this goes against your overall record or helps your overall record. Your district play is still here in district play. This is outside of that, but this is all development to make you better and stronger.
Well, this actually goes against our overall record.
Well, yeah, the overall, but it doesn't. But go ahead.
Well, with the new system guy this year with Max
Oh,
Preps,
that's right.
it's a ranking system. So really, district records kind of thrown out this year. It's a matter of how you're ranked at the end. So if we're a higher
Now
seed,
explain that now to the people.
Sure. So instead of playing our district opponents and then seeding off of just those teams, now you're at the end of the season. We have 6 teams in our district, and they're going to go by a Max Preps ranking system, almost like your Division II volleyball and your Division I football kind of stuff. Where people go to the college football playoffs. It's the same kind of deal. And so wherever we're ranked is where we're going to be seated in our district. So number 1, we want to have a good ranking. Number 2, we want to have a strong strength of schedule. And so that's one of the reasons.
Because that increases the rankings then.
That's right. That's right. Now, if you obviously go in and lose everything, that's probably not a good thing. But so we need to be competitive, and all of our matches, Craig's included this year, really mean something this year. In the past, we could just say, hey, district match is all we care about. But now it's everything, So the fact that we went 4-1 last weekend at Battle of the Beach and got 3rd out of 16, that's really, I'm excited for the new rankings that come out tomorrow to see how much that improved our ranking.
Okay.
So because we beat all the teams. 3 of the 4 teams we beat this weekend were ranked higher than us.
Yeah, actually, Vieira, you played Vieira,
Yeah.
and they came in unbeaten, and you beat them.
We gave them their first loss. Westminster Christian had only 1 loss. I'll tell you what, we beat a really good Ponte Vedra team in the.
That was the final one on Saturday.
Yeah, for the 3rd place match. We won 26-24, 26-24. And that was really an exciting match.
Yeah, and that Haggerty team, that was something else, wasn't it?
They're always good. They're always right there. Big team. They got kids going to Missouri, Auburn. They got like 2 other kids, going to a little lower tier Division I. I mean, they're just a huge team. And,
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll be there at the end of the year as well. So.
How does the Max Preps and the rankings help you or hurt you, or how do you approach it? I guess is the question.
It's really hard to know how to approach it the first year. We've taken the view that we're going to play the hardest teams that we can play, and hopefully we can beat a few of them. And it seems like the harder teams you play, if you can fare well against them, your rankings are going to be really high. So we always try to schedule really tough. But this year we've made our toughest schedule we've ever had, just because some of our district opponents we're not playing this year because they may not be as strong. So we've tried to play the strongest teams that we can find, and we've got a tremendous schedule. So we'll see how it ends up.
How many games do you play?
Baseball, you play 25.
Okay. Up north, they're lucky if they can play 10.
Yeah, it's different all over the country.
I mean, it's really bizarre because I was looking at, what's going on here in the Akron area because my kids live up there.
Sure.
And they're lucky if they can get 10 games in, whether it's baseball or softball, and down here we're getting 25.
Yeah, it's. I think we should play more than 25 myself because we have the great weather, and our season is definitely long enough to play more, but that's what they limit us to. But we definitely have an advantage in Florida that we can play year-round. The weather's usually always good, so it makes our players much better and more attractive to colleges.
Now, when is your schedule finalized for next year, or do you have it already done?
Yeah, it's already finalized. It's a right after summer comes back to school, the phones start ringing and we start scheduling, and it fills up in about a week.
Do you have a 50-50 home and away?
It's different every year. This year we have more home games than we do away, but last year it was the opposite. We actually played in 2 tournaments on the road. We played up at IMG. We played in Jacksonville in the Tournament of Champions, and ended up being more away games, which I don't like because we have such a great fan base in Venice. But this year we've intentionally scheduled a lot of home games. So we have.
Who's your toughest opponent?
Well,
I don't want you to slight anybody because they're probably all tough.
They are. We're playing some great teams this year. Sarasota's always a great rival for us, and we played them strong over the years.
And you mentioned IMG.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
IMG's always a good
Well, that's
when we
because
play
you guys
them.
share an office, so you know his thinking process.
He has some great state rivals, but Sarasota baseball and Venice baseball always seem to go head to head, and that game just seemed. I like going to that game. It's a little more energy. So.
Yeah, it's nice. Clyde Metcalf's going in the Hall of Fame. I think
Wow.
this week he's going in the
Is he?
FS
Wow.
Florida High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. So, it's a battle every year, and it's sometimes they blow us out, sometimes we blow them out, but usually it's a tough battle. So.
Some food just came to the table across from us, and we're seeing some of those great Pops burgers.
We got some shrimp too.
And there's some shrimp. There's a salad over there. And but the food is, I mean, you see it coming out here. Craig goes, wait a minute, I wanted more.
No, my shrimp was outstanding. It almost looks like Coach Wheatley's parents are over there somewhere.
Wow.
Wow, bringing in, yeah.
Well, they bring in the celebrity end of things.
Sure.
All right. We're not going to be able to talk before plant. You're going to come back from Battle of the Beach. No coaches show next Monday, so we're going to be off on that. But a week from Thursday, Plant comes into the teepee. Kind of explain what's going to go on there, Coach.
So, I would say we have two main state rival games that we've gone head-to-head over the last 20, 25 years. One is Tampa Plant, and the other one's St. Thomas Aquinas. So, anytime a Venice volleyball team faces one of those teams, the stakes get a little bit higher, and we're excited. We went up there last year to play Plant, and we did a home-and-home last year, and we split. This year we're just playing once. Great coaching there, great athletes, and so it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and they're very good this year.
Now, will you be preaching any of that over Durango, or you're just going to focus on Durango, and then when you get home on that Monday, then start?
Yeah, we're absolutely looking. We don't look ahead. We're looking at one game at a time.
Okay.
And, this week we've been talking about turning the corner. Anytime you turn the corner, you don't know what's going to round that corner. And right now our kids we're trying to get our kids to look around that corner and take a step forward and to see what's out there. And then you know what? We told them once we take that step around that corner, you know what's going to be next? Another corner. And so that's the way we're kind of approaching the rest of the year. Just take one corner at a time. Let's get a little bit better every single day. And, we could easily go 0-7 in Las Vegas if we don't bring our A game.
People watched over the weekend, and they watched you starting to substitute and bring in different players from your roster. And not a bad thing, but just kind of enlighten our viewers and some of the process behind there without getting into your secrets.
Sure. We just kind of creating a little bit of some competition there, getting some opportunity for some other kids to see what they can do. Again, we're a young team, and we want to make sure we have all of the pieces of the puzzle. We want to see what so-and-so brings to this aspect, and this person. So we're just kind of playing around with some different things. We actually put in a new defense over the weekend, which seemed to work pretty well. And so we're just kind of looking and exploring, and eventually we'll go with something that sticks. But right now it's everything every day it's up for grabs. We're trying to make practice as competitive as possible, and everything's a competition, So you got to bring it.
Yeah. If you want to watch any of the Battle of the Beach, we're going to keep them up there for this week, and then they come down. So then on Sunday they will come down, and so you will not be able to see those, and we'll be pulling those games, and so that we will not give the advantage to Plant if they want to watch that or whatever. So we'll let you still watch some of those because many people watch it after the fact. We've had close to 400 views on many of the games, and Coach, that's only fair to our viewers but also to you so that people don't see what you're doing there on the court. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Hopefully those 400 viewers don't include some coaches, but maybe they do. But it is what it is. And
if you want me to pull them earlier, I've always acknowledged and honored your request.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that off the air a little bit.
I got a feeling it's not going to last till Sunday, folks. Oh, okay. Craig, we're going to close up here. Some final thoughts. Hey, it's good to have you, by the way, on the show.
It's been a lot of fun being here, especially the atmosphere and the great restaurant and the views behind us. It's a great place to be. I've enjoyed sitting talking baseball in the off season. We're talking all the time about getting stronger and pouring in, putting money in the bank so we can pull it out later. But it's nice to talk about scheduling and talk about competition and really cheering Brian on. Looking forward to see how he does in Vegas actually, and we're excited for what he's doing. Watching his team get better and better every week.
Yeah, regular season's only got about 4 weeks left, doesn't it, Coach?
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah.
It's like October 5 or 11 or something in that area.
Yeah, I think districts are October 14th, so we are moving along pretty quickly, aren't we?
So it's going to happen. A final thought. Do you have a final thought?
Yeah, I always have a final thought. Final thought is really appreciate our team. They're working hard, and I've been hard on them this year, and they're responding, and that's a great thing. And they're just like sponges. They're absorbing it, and each member of our team is valued, and I'm excited. I'm excited for every single kid on that team. We have a great trip, and they make lifelong friends on this team, and have some fun while they're doing it as well. So.
Coach Brian Wheatley, head coach of the volleyball team. Coach Craig Faulkner, head coach of the baseball team, both of Venice Athletics. And a special thanks also to Athletic Director Pete Dombrowski.
Absolutely.
For his graciousness to just say, hey, you can do this.
Yeah, Pete's been around a while. He knows his coaching staff well. And he really lets us do our thing, and he's not one of those micromanager kind of guys. He gives us a lot of freedom, and really Pete really does care about the school and the kids and us as coaches, and that's important. As a coaching staff, we need to know that our athletic director has our back. So he's a good guy.
All right, we want to thank you so much for watching this evening, and we're going to join you Tampa Plant a week from Thursday. I believe it's the 26th, and that's going to be live from the TP. For all of us here at Pop Sunset Grill, and thanks to Pops as well, have a good night, everybody.